At the very start, we've got Marion Manor versus Frank Duncan, and you can already feel the tension brewing. Duncan claims he barely had time to prepare, but the judge quickly reminds him that the case was filed over a month ago. This is classic courtroom drama. The tenant feels blindsided, while the landlord insists they followed all the rules. The stakes? Frank Duncan's home is on the line, and he's walking a very fine line with the judge. Will his excuses about car trouble and late payments hold up, or is this case already leaning against him? Stay locked in. It's about to heat up.
Marion Manor versus Frank Duncan, 2502622.
Carolyn
Yes,
Cohen,
Judge.
249391, appearing on behalf of the plaintiff, Your Honor.
Mr. Duncan, your name?
Frank Duncan.
Did you listen to and understand the rights?
Yes, I did, but
Hang on.
okay.
Do you wish to speak to a lawyer?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Do you intend to apply for funding?
Yes, I do. But let me let you know, Judge, that I was served the summons last Tuesday night. I only had 3 days to get all this stuff together. I called Lakeshore twice. I've called Marion Manor 2 times, and I always left a message. I talked to the receptionist. They never call me back, and they just leave me.
Well, they sent you a letter. It looks like they sent you a letter. Marion Manor did on June 6th, the demand for possession demand for possession, non-payment of rent. They sent that to you. It says, according to them, that they mailed it on June 6th. So hang on. So you've known about it for about 5 weeks or so, right?
No, Your Honor. Let me explain something. I had car problems a few weeks before June, so that threw my schedule off. And I called them before the beginning of June and told them that I would pay them on the 25th of June, in which I did. And I'm looking at the summons here. It says the last payment that they received was on in the May, which is false.
Wait a minute. Slow down. Wait. I'm not getting a good connection at all. I'm not getting a connection at all. You got to get closer to your device.
Okay, I'm trying.
A lot better.
Can you hear me better? Okay. Yes. So I called them at the beginning of June, letting them know that I was going to be late for the payment because I had auto problems. Okay. So I told them that I would be paying them on the 25th. And then they said, okay. And then they called me on the 6th or 7th.
Here we see Duncan trying to defend himself, explaining that car problems threw his finances off schedule. He says he called the landlord, promised payment by June 25th, and actually followed through. But here's the problem. Courts deal in paperwork, not promises. Even if he did pay, once that summons is filed, the process doesn't just stop. And landlords often hear, "I'll pay you later." So they keep things moving. Question for you guys. Do you think it's fair for management to keep pushing eviction even after payment was made? Or should they have worked with Duncan once he caught up?
Someone saying that they're filing court. And I said, I told you I was going to pay you the 25th. And they said, oh, okay. Yeah, okay, we still got to do it. It's standard procedure. So the 25th came around. I paid my rent. And then they said, okay, we'll contact legal. And that's the last I heard of them. And then 2 days later, I got thing scrolled up. It looked like a flyer. I didn't read it until a day later. They were demanding $120 from me. And I called them up. I said, what's the $120 for? Well, they said it was for filing for the claim.
Well, but listen, sir, in fairness to them, I'm certain they had multiple people tell them, I'll pay you later. They don't have to wait. That's not fair to them.
See, the thing is, they didn't file.
Let's slow down. Ms. Cohen, can you tell me what the balance is?
Yeah, it's 1451.54.
All right, so Mr. Duncan, I don't know what else you want me to do. I'll let you speak to a
I'm going to try
lawyer.
to explain it to you, Judge, as clearly as possibly as I can. Okay, they got paid the 25th of 1,065. Okay, and that was June 25th, and they will get their money on. Did you say something?
No, I do want to make clear, I'm looking at this notice to quit. It says $85 late fees. I want all the managers to listen.
They said that
Hang
the manager.
hang on. I cap my late fees at $70. If I see anybody charging more than $75, or $70 rather, late fees, I promise you, because this is happening too much. I mean, I trust lawyers are going to tell me and adjust before they get on. I promise you, I will require, if I catch somebody charging late fees in excess of $70 a month on a case when filed, I promise you, as long as I'm sitting on this bench.
And here comes a powerful moment. The judge slams down a warning to all property managers in the courtroom. He says if anyone charges more than $70 in late fees, he'll personally make sure they show up in court again and again. That's huge. Most judges don't lay down a threat like this unless they've seen abuse happening across multiple cases. This is bigger than just Duncan. The judge is sending a message to the entire housing complex system. What do you think? Is $85 really unfair? Or is the judge being too protective of tenants here?
Each and every manager that I see that happening with will be required to show up in person there going forward as long as I sit on this bench. And right now, as it sits, I've got 5.5 more years. So when you guys send out and you do these $85 things, I'm telling you, I will require you, I'll make your life miserable. You see my name on a pleading as the judge, you make sure it's capped at $70 per month. And just for the record, I've got the managers from Tanglewood here, Hidden Garden here, Marion Manor here, in Hamptons. Would you pop in your head, please? And I want you to acknowledge. Tanglewood, what's your name?
Sarah Baumier.
Your Honor, could I say one thing?
Not yet.
Okay.
Marion Manor, what is your name?
I'm the assistant manager, Caitlin Cahill.
You're going to tell the manager I've said what I said, correct?
Will do.
Ms. West, your name? And from Hamptons, who do I have?
Jessica
Jessica what?
Brown.
And you're the assistant manager.
No, I am a leasing agent.
Okay. So we're going to make sure, Shelley West, you have to unmute bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Shelley West, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, and you need to figure out how to show up on Zoom. She can hear me. She understands. You understand? Is that a yes? Yes, she's nodding her head up and down. I'm only telling you guys, I still see this happening. I'm trying to be nice and understanding about it. I'm not going to be anymore. And I don't care if any judge gives you $400 a month. I really don't. In late fees. I'm not. This is the extent of it. So, that being said, Mr. Duncan, now you can go on and tell me why all of this that you're talking about is relevant. You paid for June. I get it. They started a court case. They had the right to do it.
Okay, Your Honor. Now, I'm confused. They sent me this flyer stating that I owe them $120. And this is towards the end of June. Okay. Now I only owe for July, which is coming up with because when you collect Social Security, you get paid every month.
Slow down. Okay? How much is your monthly rental rate?
$1,065.
All right, so you're $1,065. You probably owe for late fees for June and July. That's $70 a month. That's $140.
Now watch this part closely. It's a battle of the numbers. Rent, late fees, court costs. They're adding and subtracting like it's a math exam, and even the judge admits he might have messed up the totals. But here's the legal bottom line. The tenant's obligation doesn't go away just because the math gets messy. Every late fee, every filing fee, it all stacks up. This is where so many tenants get blindsided. They think they only owe rent, but by the time court costs hit, the debt can snowball into eviction territory. Be honest, would you be able to keep track of all this math under courtroom pressure?
That takes your total to 1205. How much do you have in court costs, Ms. Cohen? You have to unmute.
176.54. I can give you the breakdown if you'd like.
Please.
Okay, so he went in from at the end of June after he paid $1,050. He had a $221.54 balance. Okay, and then he owed 1,000. So he owes $1,205 for rent, $170 late fee, and $176.54 for court costs, which equals $1,451.54.
Any reason to dispute that, Mr. Duncan?
Yes, I do dispute it because first of all, the manager, Caitlin, she's still there. She can hear me. She waived the late fee for when I called her up and told her that I was not going to.
All right, let's have the manager come in here. State your name, please.
I'm the assistant manager, Caitlin Cahill.
Do you know anything about what late fees being waived?
I'm looking. It doesn't look like any late fee was waived, no.
Is the manager working to, hang on, Mr. Duncan, is the manager?
The property manager is off today.
I talked to Caitlin directly to her when I called her because she put me in my place when I called her. Why are you running this through the court?
I just told you that we could not stop the filing.
I know what you
Mr.
did.
Duncan, Mr. Duncan. Honestly, sir, I don't mean to be rude. I've heard enough of this. I want you to tell me how much you think you owe, because on my math, you at least owe 1205 plus 176.57, which is 1381.57. So I don't know what we're quibbling about, or 54 rather. Could you just waive the one late fee or not, Ms. Cohen?
I don't generally waive late fees, but I mean, if you're
I'm not asking you to then. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it.
I mean, we're talking about the month of July.
I know.
July 14th, and he hasn't paid.
I know. When are you going to pay this, Mr. Duncan?
Like I said, for the 10th time, I get paid every fourth Wednesday of a month.
The 10th time? Okay.
Well, I did say it quite a few times.
All right. Well, then forgive me. In the heat of the moment here and all the excitement, I must have not caught that. And you did say something about Social Security, but you're going to have to figure out how you're going to pay your rent on time. You're going to be paying $70 late fees every month, sir.
I understand that.
All right. So the fourth Wednesday is the 23rd, right?
Correct. A week from Wednesday, they will be getting their money.
All right. If they don't waive their, Ms. Cohen, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to split that one in half. I'm going to give you $1,416.54. So I'm splitting that late fee in half. I probably should not be doing that, but I am. So it's going to be $1,416.54. Judgment after hearing. Writ date will be, I'll just make sure and give you until the 25th, which is a week from Friday. Okay, Mr. Duncan?
Okay, I'm not understanding what you're saying. You're splitting fees and all that. What's going on here?
Well, you owe $1,000. You owe $1,065. You have a $70 late fee for this month. That would bring your total to $1,135.
Right.
You have $176.54 that you owe in court costs. So no matter how you cut it, you owe 1311.54. Wait a minute.
That's how much I owe by Wednesday.
And then I'm going to give him, I see what I did here. I added in that twice. The total amount, Ms. Coleman, is going to be 1346.54. I think that's a little different than what I said before. 1346.54. I might have made a mistake on that too. But you definitely owe 1,065 plus 70, which is 1,135, plus
Yes.
176.54, which is the court cost, for a total of 1311.54. And then I'm just giving them half the late fee for the last month. So
Well,
that's another 35.
I have it at 1416.54 if you're only charging a $35 late fee.
All right, let's start over. My mistake. Give me the rent to retain right now is 1,065. Is that right?
Nope, the rent to retain is 1205.
Well, that includes two late fees of 140.
No, that's not, no, I broke it out separately.
All right, start over.
1205 in rent.
Okay.
Where is the other?
Okay,
You went out. I got it. 1205 in rent, and you have late fees, let's call them of 105, right?
no, I had a late fee of $70. Now it's gonna be $35.
You got a late fee for July of 70, right?
Yeah, but now it's gonna be 35.
No, I was only talking about the June late fee. That was in conjunction with the June 6, June 25. So I'm giving you 70 plus 35 for June. So that's 105. That should be 1310. And then you've got court costs of 176.54, right?
What's your total?
Well, 1310, and that is 1481.54.
Yeah, but the problem is now you're coming out with more than I had. Because I said the balance from if you take the balance of the previous month, I mean, it's hard because I'm looking at a ledger and I'm seeing his rent is 1,065 and I'm sorry, 1,000, when then he's got a insurance thing, so it's 1,085.
Okay.
Okay, and then I have a $70 late fee. And
But
then
all
I have
these
court costs, but I'm not
fees-
giving, but we're not talking about the money from last, when you, going from last month, it's 221.54 minus,
So you're saying you still had a balance coming into July.
correct.
So we had 1,065 plus 221. I mean, even a dummy like me can figure out that's 1886.
No.
I mean, 1286 plus late fees, right?
When I add 1286, when I add 1,085 and 221.54, what do you get?
Right. 1286.54. Then you still have to add on court costs, which are 176.54, you told me, right?
Yes?
What are you coming up with?
My total, according to my ledger, was 1451.54 with the
You don't-
$70 late fee.
You told me that before. And then that's when I said, why don't I cut off $35 of the late fees and make it 1416.54?
And I agree.
Right. So, Mr. Duncan, tell me why you don't owe 1416.54.
Well, first of all, I never heard of such exorbitant court costs, Your Honor.
Mr. Duncan, listen to me. I'm not going to let anybody take advantage of you. That's what the court costs are. I don't dictate what the court costs are. They're entitled to a $75 statutory attorney fee. They paid a filing fee. They're entitled to those costs. I mean, you might disagree with it, write the legislature. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, Your Honor, first round they never filed for court.
Mr. Duncan.
All I got was
Mr. Duncan. Listen. You got to tell me what you think you owe, and you got to include court costs and late fees. Now, I've got all these people waiting here. I don't mind going on. If you want me to go on to another case, I'll be glad to give you time. But I cannot stand when people have figures and they say, well, I don't owe that much. Well, what do you owe? Well, I owe around. No, there's answers to math. This is not like arguing over what res ipsa loquitur means. This is just straight math.
Well, I know how to do math, Judge.
Well, then tell me how much you owe. Tell me how much you owe. How much do you owe and how do you calculate it?
I'm telling you, all these fees hit me 10 minutes ago. I didn't know all these fees existed.
Okay. Take your time, look at the fees, figure it out. I'm going on to another case, and then I'm going to ask you how much you owe when I come back and how you calculated them, period. I don't want to sit here and argue about it. I'm going on to Monica Brown, Marion Manor versus DeMonica. So I'm going to come back to Frank Duncan. Have you figured this out? Marion Manor versus Frank Duncan, 250-2622. Mr. Duncan, your name?
Frank Duncan.
Have you figured out how much is owed?
No, because, with all these fees that you're coming up with.
Mr. Duncan.
Throw me a frickin' bone here.
Oh.
I don't come up with any fees, and she isn't either. They're entitled to those by law. By law. I don't just sit up here and make up figures. Now, you're kind of agitating me at this point. I'm not going to put up with this nonsense anymore. I told you to figure out what you think you owe without the fees. I'm going to go on to another case, and I'm coming back then, and you're going to tell me. And if you don't, then I'm going to make a decision. Okay? You can go into a breakout room with Ms. Brown, and then when you're done with that, I'll call this one back here. I need your name, Mr. Duncan. You need to unmute. He was just sitting there. Mr. Duncan, you need to unmute. Bottom left-hand corner.
I know. This thing has a mind of itself.
Your name?
Frank Duncan.
How much do you owe?
Well, according to what I'm looking at here and what was said that I'm trying to make sense of, it was right around $1,400.
All right, that's not a good enough. You would think you owe 1416. He owes 1416.54, right?
That's what we decided on.
The judgment will enter. I find you owe 1416.54. The writ date will be July the 25th. This will be after hearing. So you have to pay that amount, sir, by July the 25th. If you don't, you have to vacate. If you don't, you're going to be evicted. Thank you very much. Have a good day, everybody.
I got a couple questions here. Do I have a right to appeal?
Yep, you've got 10 days to appeal until July 24th. You can file appeals at court. If they disagree with you, you can ask the Court of Appeals to hear your case.
Okay. And do I have a right to a jury trial if I so decide?
Not at this point. There's no triable issue.
Okay.
Good luck.
And here it is, the gavel moment. The judge rules that Frank Duncan owes $1,416.54. He has until July 25th to pay up, or else eviction is on the table. No more arguments, no more excuses, just a clear deadline with life-changing consequences. Duncan asks about appeals and jury trials, but it's too late. The decision is final unless he appeals within 10 days. This case is a perfect example of how quickly courtroom math and strict deadlines can flip someone's world upside down. If you found this case as shocking as we did, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the judge was too harsh or completely fair? And don't forget to subscribe to Courtroom Authority for more jaw-dropping legal showdowns.